and then the very heavy volume that we had. And I don't know if there's anything else you can say about that other than it is what it is. But we'll think about it. Other things going on, as always, was actually look at the volume here. 1.87 billion shares. We're off 3 points on the S&P cash. Of course, the big news isn't the S&P. It is that doggone NASDAQ, and we're off 30 points on that, or 0.75%. Of course, the NASDAQ really hasn't gotten back about 50% of the last move down, the real weak sign and part of the market. But people are still trying to move it as they can. Anyway, this day in history in 1996, there was a gold company. And if you haven't been around in a long time, this one was one for the record books. I'm still kind of surprised that we haven't seen a movie made out of it, because it is so outrageous. It's kind of like the Wolf of Wall Street, where you think, this guy didn't do any of this. And then you find out, well, he did all that and more. And, this was the scam of all times. The company was called Bre-X. It was a Canadian company out of Calgary. And they said that they had discovered more than 30 million ounces of gold in Indonesia. It was listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange. The stock rose to about $192.50, and I think the thing was like a $3 stock, if I remember right, or $10 stock. It was very cheap at the time. And, of course, it went back to zero not too long after. But this thing was a scam to begin with the old, let's put some gold in the shotgun and blow a few rounds around. And there was more than enough warning signs, but people were absolutely gold mad in 1996 when this came out, and the amount of gold that was there. But from the actual scam and the way that the core samples were done to the Bre-X executive, quote, quote, suicide by jumping out of a helicopter. Of course, they never found his body. So speculation's always been that he did something else, paid somebody off, and probably on some small island without extradition treaties, still living today. But they have not found him. So maybe he did fall out of the helicopter. Maybe he jumped. My bet is that a lot of facial reconstruction, and they never found him. The company went bankrupt on November 5th, 1997, after at least torching $3 billion in investors' money and up in smoke. Now, one of the things is there were a lot of warning signs. In fact, I was talking about somebody in the den about a news report today. It came out. It's in a foreign newspaper. It happens when the company is reporting tonight. The company itself can't say anything till after the bell, yay or nay. But that leaks in a foreign newspaper, where that newspaper has been known to publish bogus articles. Of course, it's a lot harder to prosecute a newspaper over there. At insider trading scams, they exist a great deal of places, not just here in the United States. But just a thought out here. Normally, when it's too good to be true, as they say, it is. And a lot of times, this one was just, if you were going and trading through the market through 2000, there was always just one more revelation each day in the financial press. And each one was just a little bit more outrageous than the last. But Bre-X Minerals is the proof, what Mark Twain said. And he said, the definition of a gold mine is a hole with a liar standing next to it. Did he apply for the position of Secretary of U.S. Treasury? It's the amount of phony gold mines is is just staggering over the years. Kind of like selling the Brooklyn Bridge. It's just seems like it is somewhat problematic. Anyway, we've got a lot of stuff to go on. A full story today. Of course, the first thing we want to get to is Gilead. Very interesting biotech out here. Now, this is a company that really has taken a huge run, mostly because their hepatitis C drug. We talked about this when it had just really it started coming out probably, a year and a half ago on the Tom O'Brien Show and My Tech Insider. Just the huge amount of people that actually have hepatitis C. The drug's about $85,000 for the full, what do they call it, regiment. But when you're done with it, it cures you. Now, if you don't take it, you're probably going to have $500,000 in things like kidney replacements and losing your sight and everything else. So pretty important drug. Not going to find a lot of people that are actually going to compete with this drug, I think, anytime soon. But a nice pop out there, nice volume, pretty much back up to this level. Now, one of the things we did show yesterday and talk about was just how IBB, the biotech index, had actually hit a level that was pretty decent for a resistance level. And if we go back into the retracements, you can see it very plainly if you're watching on Tiger TV. And what can you say? But when you're watching these stocks to come up and hit confluence, it is not uncommon to see this pattern, and that is that it closes at maybe $1 or $2, or gets up there and then pulls back down. Any close back below the top of confluence, if the volume had been light back up, you thought you kind of liked it. Was pretty good. But anyway, probably getting the signal here on IBB that if we're going to get one more ABC down in these biotechs, probably starting today. Anyway, when we look at Gilead, the hepatitis C drug there's just so many people that have it, especially out in California, people that are in the drug culture, any kind of dirty needles or that kind of thing. But the amount of damage this will do over 10 or 15 years to a human just means probably $500 million in medical expenses over a lifetime would not be too much. But it is a great drug, and people are kind of squeaming about the fact that it's $85,000. Now, it'd be different if it was $85,000 forever. But $85,000 is actually probably 1/5 to 1/10 of what the healthcare cost would be without it. So is it an expensive drug or is it not? A lot of communists basically don't like the price of high-priced drugs. I have no idea what it cost them to develop it, but at 1/10 or 1/5 of what it would cost without the drugs, isn't this a trick? Isn't this one of the cheapest drugs? Anyway, just a thought out there. Other things that are in the snooze, and of course here at TFNN, when news breaks, we fix it. So we'll continue trying to do that. Plug technology. We talked about this, I don't know, a month ago, 2 months ago, on a Friday afternoon, someone called in, and we talked about how all this kind of technology that's in the this area of fuel cells is the technology of the future and always will be. Well, we'll look and see what Plug's doing again with all that money that they made because they sold all these devices. We'll be back in just a minute.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, the Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartleys, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Wouldn't it be great if you could get a red light, green light indicator that gives you signals on 25 different future contracts? Now you can with Taz Signal Box. This red light, green light market profile system dynamically updates 24 hours a day and provides you with important trend and trade signals on 9 different commodities, 9 different indices, and 8 different currencies. Right now, you can receive a free 2-week trial to Taz Signal Box. For all the details and to find out how the Signal Box works, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Andy Heck's powerful weekly newsletter, the Technomental Commodity Report, has delivered multiple triple-digit winning trades in recent months. And right now's the perfect time to get a full month-long trial to Andy's newsletter with no obligation to pay anything. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you'll lock in the low rate of only $59 a month. Sign up right now for the Technomental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
You've always taken the long view when it comes to investing, but what if there's an opportunity right under your nose? What if you could be more responsive to market trends to seek to boost your portfolio performance right now while seeking to reduce your overall risk? At Direction Funds, we connect investors with alternative strategies that seek to maximize their returns. Smart investors deserve smart alternatives. Find yours at directionfunds.com. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risk charges, and expenses of Direction Funds carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Funds. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact the Direction Funds at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. Investing in index funds may be more volatile than investing in broadly diversified funds. Distributed by Rafferty Capital Markets, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Anyway, we talked, I guess, probably into this huge spike about Plug Power. I actually did a fairly long treatise in the Tech Insider, and it is one of those things where you pretty much have to say that there's a lot of brouhaha when these people sell some of their fuel cells, but the technology hasn't changed. The economies of scales haven't changed. Nothing has changed. Plug Power, of course, now that they're up here, things are going pretty good. Decide to dump a great deal more stock on the market. Don't really know how much. They're not saying yet. They're filing for an open shelf on this. But the thought is that things are good enough now was to go ahead and sell more stock and dilute the existing shareholders. Every time this thing has popped in the past over the years, they've decided to sell more stock and just dilute it more. And I guess the problem would be how much money is going to be enough. And basically it comes into the way that these things are built. And if you read the Tech Insider, you'll see the hill that these folks will have to climb to actually make a fuel cell actually viable. We're talking about making them basically, 10 times better? There are some cars that are going to come out in the near future, probably the end of this year, first part of next year, with fuel cell technology. And it's great, but when you turn water into hydrogen for these fuel cells, you basically give away 30% right there. And that's not a killer to the deal. But none of the stuff in fuel cells is that cheap. And it's just ridiculously expensive. Batteries are probably better than an option than fuel cells at the moment. And gasoline is 10 times the deal that batteries are for that too. So it's hard to see anywhere, especially with the upfront costs with fuel cells and batteries, that any real problem with coming up against gas, even at $4 a gallon, is going to be problematic. But just remember, until something drastically changes in fuel cells, it is the technology of the future and always will be. Other things that we had on my list, go back to them. Kind of why the market is spooked today, and that is what ARMS Holdings did last night in their earnings. Of course, they're down a little bit today, but on volume and coming back down. I think we're looking at a tale of two worlds in the cell phone business, and that is if you're talking about expensive chips like Apple puts in their iPhones that are custom built and designed with a combination of work from engineers from Apple and ARMS Holdings themselves, it is problematic. But this is why Apple has been, I'd say, at least somewhat weak today going into earnings. They're off about $5, printing off at $5.26. The question I have a feeling is not does it test $4.96. I think that's probably a given after these earnings. The question is whether or not it could break $4.96, and that would take you back down to about $3.80 on the stock. And everybody's telling you, well, if you just wait till the third quarter, you just wait till the third quarter, you just wait till the third quarter. The problem is they have declining sales, especially in iPads. Their iPhone sales are good, but they are not going up. In fact, they're probably fairly moderated. The big lie last quarter and the quarter before was all about how many they were going to sell in China. So far, that doesn't look like that's really developed into anything. So we continue to see the kind of market where long on bulls, short on substance, and ARMS Holdings not doing any good for that. Starworks Solutions had a good earnings, and I'll put them up here later in the show. But what it really looks like is the superphone part of the market, the very high end, that Samsung Galaxy 4s and 5s, the iPhone 5s, and now going to be 6, is fairly saturated. People don't find that they need faster iPhones or bigger iPhones. If they get them at their contract, that's fine. But for the most part, these are not driving new sales as much as just cannibalizing the sales that would be there anyway. So as we're looking at ARMS Holdings, look at it with volume coming down here, breaking it. Looks to me like it's opening up the $40.90 low. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra extra edge when it comes to trading and investments? Then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
TFNN is back with another Tiger Dollar special, and as part of this promotion, not only can you receive up to a 25% bonus on whatever you spend, but you can also gain access to a 5-part live webinar series with Tom O'Brien taking place the week of April 28th. Each morning during the week at 8 a.m., Tom O'Brien will walk you through how he sets up the market live and digest the previous day's trading action while analyzing overnight markets abroad in order to anticipate what kind of trading day to expect. Each 60-minute live morning webinar will be archived by around 9:30 a.m. that very morning, so that if you can't attend live, it'll be available for your viewing pleasure on demand whenever you're ready. Tiger Dollars can be used for any TFNN newsletter or service, and they never expire, so now is a great time to lock in extra savings on all TFNN products. Don't miss out on Tom O'Brien's 5-part webinar series. Get your Tiger Dollars today with up to a 25% bonus on whatever you spend before this special is over by visiting TFNN.com.
No matter where you listen to TFNN programming, we want you to know you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones and iPads, located at the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a mobile connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all of our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and radio call and talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com. Educating investors. This segment is brought to you by Harmony Gold. For more information, just click the Harmony Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And one of the other stocks coming out with earnings last night was VMware. Big move from them today. And what we do know about this is the same thing that we're seeing in just about every other big high-tech company that is trying to sell into the rest of the world, and that is weakness and kind of a reticence to buy anything from an American company where everything is assumed that the NSA has a back door into it. And what can you say? But hugely down on heavy volume. Now, I really like this company, and I wanted to try to buy it back when this thing gapped up about mid-year last year, and just was never able to really get a good buy out here. I just like that we saw a higher volume low back in November 14th compared to the October 9th low. So I never really got back in it. I wanted a real good test on this thing. Companies still like the company, but we're probably going to have to get some kind of answer for the NSA for any of these. When we look at IBM, I think it was down a little bit today too. No matter what everybody says about, well, we've got to buy it, IBM's probably maybe 1 quarter away from having a 30 or 40 point drop on earnings. That they could come out with the news about them actually stopping and quit buying back stock here shows that they're probably getting toward the bottom of the well of just buying back stock and firing people. They're putting a lot of money in the Watson project, which is a artificial intelligence kind of call center system that really knows what human language is, at least in English. Probably going to be a good product for them. The question is just how long does it take them to get that thing out the door, and how expensive is it going to be? They said they were going to put $1.5 billion into it. But basically, any of these companies looking for big dollars overseas are probably much running into some pretty severe resistance because of the whole NSA problem. And Boeing had earnings out, and when we look at Boeing, the old saying, if you're a pilot, was it's Boeing or I'm not going. And that was because most of the other, especially planes from about 1970 to 1995, were horrifically dangerous. If you were talking about buying a European plane or some of the planes actually sold and built in Canada, especially the prop planes. And we still see a few of these crashing every once in a while, but hard to fly, problematic. Everybody thought that if you could get in a 727, 737, or 777, 787, that you probably aren't flying in a safer plane and a better built plane. Probably still going on. But somebody was asking about actually shorting Boeing, and I kept on saying that if there was one company I probably would not short, it would be Boeing, and that is they've got orders out the yin-yang. Those orders are going to continue to come out for a while. And even if they lost half their orders, they'd have 4 years of orders out there. And in the meantime, the economy would probably improve and they'd get those orders back. So it's not one of these companies that you want to short. Probably even in a down market, will it go down? Yes. It's just going to go down a great deal less than any other company. But the numbers they're putting out, the orders that they have, the efficiency of their system, and the fact that their planes are get at least 10% better fuel mileage than the Airbus. Absolutely incredibly hard to think that any way that Airbus is going to catch up anytime soon. You've got, 5 different countries trying to build an Airbus plane. Everybody's shipping stuff from everywhere else. And a lot of make work because basically they're state-sponsored enterprises. We all know how well those work. And a lot of money, backdoor money, just to keep those factories open and keep workers working. So not a very efficient model for building airplanes. Boeing makes money. They don't have to get near as much support from the government. They do get some, mostly because they say, hey, look at Airbus is getting all this money over here. Why don't you give us some? So we're at least on an equal footing. And that's pretty much what the U.S. government has decided to do. But the Airbus people are still willing to give away planes to keep workers in business and keep Airbus running, which is always going to be problematic. You had a great low down here. If it would have gone down just a few cents lower down on these last lows, March 19th. But when you get into a low with half the volume, and it's like 0.25% into those lows, a lot of times that's all you get. I would have taken the trade if it would have busted the March 19th low, but it did not. It was about 60 cents higher. But not a bad trade out here, but only about $10. So I don't know if the risk reward would have ever been worth it. But Boeing, a very tough company out here to short, and you just needed 7.8 million shares. You did have a huge gap down, and this is where the stock is stopping today, and that gap was 16 million shares, and that is going to be the resistance level for some time for Boeing. So I'm looking for this thing, maybe even in a down market, to chew back up through that level, but keep an eye on it. Cree, if you followed my Tech Insider newsletter on this one, you're not going to be too surprised to see this thing hammered down yet again today, much lower coming. I put forward the notion probably 6-9 months ago that Cree had seen its high, and the reason being that they are not the only one that can make LED light bulbs. But the fact that LED light bulbs would become a commodity. I'll try to find it during the break and bring it out here, and I'll show it. But I am going to show it on Friday's show with Tom O'Brien. And that is, the light bulbs now have gotten maybe 50% cheaper than what Cree's selling them at Home Depot. And I just don't see how they can ever really have a model for an independent company that has huge margins selling a commodity device. But I have to tell you that the new light bulbs I bought from IKEA this weekend are absolutely outstanding for a light bulb for $4 that's going to last 10 years and sip 6 watts of power for a normal bulb that would draw 40. Is everything you want. So if you're thinking about being energy efficient in your house, light bulbs have certainly hit, at least the ones in, you can get the Walmart generic ones now that are a fairly good deal. But even cheaper this weekend I saw and picked some up were at IKEA. So I imagine we're probably going to see more and more of these light bulbs. But $4 for a 40-watt bulb that's basically going to last probably as long as 20 regular incandescent bulbs would have been for. Well worth it. So I'm probably seeing the tipping point on people moving to LED bulbs. I just don't think that there's any money in it when you've got General Electric flooding the market, IKEA flooding the market with what I talked about over a year ago, which was an English company coming out with a much cheaper way of making LED bulbs, and we're now seeing these things flood the market. But one of these companies that if you're in a business or getting into a business that is a commodity business, it's very hard to break that. And especially people buy light bulbs. The light bulb's the light bulb to them. They're not going to be hugging their light bulb. They're going to put it in and forget about it. And why there are a lot of people that are huge greenies on Earth Day, it is tough to see how the economies of scale just don't eventually crush high-margin companies like Cree. I don't think they're going out of business, but they're probably going to probably come back down to about $20 would be a right evaluation for their specialty bulbs, which probably General Electric will not get in. But just seeing a lot of these change. Off of 4 points on the S&P cash, and it is somewhat problematic. We've got 2 billion shares, so yet another very light volume day. Thought we're really seeing the volume really come and get light late in the day. That's normally when we've been seeing the big guys on Wall Street pushing stock and buying stock, and that we can't get volume up or down out here. It's going to be very interesting, but we'll watch the close today out here. But I have a feeling that when Apple reports, they're probably going to disappoint. And the real question I have is, 496 holds or doesn't it? And that's going to be probably the tale tonight. Eric the half a B. To be or not to be, Eric the half a B. If you know your Monty Python, you'd know already. And anyway, Ericsson slammed today down, about 9% or so, it looks like. Looks like this thing is going back after into the gap that comes from about 11 50 to about 1185, or about 1185. Of course, they're a big manufacturer of electronics, but no real surprise here that for the most part, if you're not selling a tablet or a big screen television, most people not looking too hard at buying more electronics. International game technology certainly looks to me like all these people, especially that are big in Las Vegas, looking rather weak lately. International game technology sells a lot of the stuff that goes into casinos. Down on their heavy volume. And this thing, of course, has been headed down for a while. Let's go here to a 2-year chart. Looks to me, especially with the volume we have now, this thing is headed back down to that heavy volume low at $10.92. You basically have a huge volume day down with 30.4 million shares. The low of the day was 1153. But I think that's probably close enough to this absolute low at 10.92, which happened on August 7th of 2012. Certainly looks to me like we're going to see these come back to those absolute lows, at least in this marketplace. And, of course, this is the first day, but probably $2 back to 10.92 is nothing in these gaming stocks that continue to not look very good. Illumina Technology, certainly one of these that did everything you wanted, and I didn't buy it. So I will say this is one of the fish. I got a question. Polar question, please. Okay, Facebook will close buying WhatsApp. Will the stock issued to it buy it depress Facebook in coming months? We'll talk about that in a second. Illumina, I've loved the whole DNA sequencing space. Talked about it for 6 months. Never could get a good buy at a lower price on it, so I let it go, which is fine. It didn't follow my discipline. But certainly what you saw here was a textbook case on the 17th of January. That was a gap up with a very good volume of 7.2 million shares. Tried to come back into that gap on March 27th with 3.3 million shares. Got into that low at 2.3 million shares on April 15th. And you had a nice move out here to 158.50 as a high today with some decent volume. And this is going to be another stock that I probably wouldn't be shorting out here because that whole DNA sequencing area probably pretty good. Manpower, another one of these companies. And of course, they do a whole lot in temporary staffing, if I'm not mistaken, right? This is the same one. Temporary staffing. And getting executives, large-scale recruiting, that kind of stuff today. And they are seeing a lot more temporary work come back into this marketplace. And this looks like it's headed back up to the high up here at December 26th. It was $87.16. We got to $85.84 today, kind of rolled back over. Now, if the market fails, that's probably it. Probably going to fill this gap back to $78. But if it goes a little better, up to $87.16, depending on the market, I would say probably looking at 87 back here. Again, one of these stocks that you probably not want to short because it's going to take a while to get back there. When we come back, I'll close up the show when we talk about Facebook and WhatsApp. But my understanding is that it probably is not going to affect the stock that much. That they probably have requirements that they won't be able to sell it. But let's look at Facebook because they are going to be reporting tonight also. We'll be back in just a minute.
Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his diagnostic box spread analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
We're told to follow our passion and everything else will fall into place. I hope that's what each of you are doing each and every day. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Money Master Show at TFNN.com, and my passion for technical analysis is what led me to the most fundamental discovery in pattern recognition, the Rhodes Momentum Indicator, market scanner, and trading strategy, a set of tools that identify the momentum and power of the trend, the likes of which have never been seen before, for every market and every time frame. Yes, folks, the trend is your friend, unless you're on the other side. New to technical analysis? This is the place to start. And experienced traders, take advantage of the trend like never before. Experience the power of the Rhodes Momentum Indicator each day, available to subscribers of my newsletter service, Mastering Probability. I guarantee your satisfaction for the next 30 days, unconditionally, so there's no risk to you, other than being on the wrong side of the trend. Mastering Probability, available on the homepage of TFNN.com. And folks, live with passion.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Okay, well, we have kind of a couple of questions, I guess, in the den here, and that is we've got Facebook, of course, coming out with earnings tonight also, and kind of having a little day out here in front of earnings. The problem I have with Facebook is the way they charge for their service is basically a scam. I don't think you can call it 100% illegal, but my guess is there's going to be a big class action lawsuit one day on the way that they actually charge for the service, because when you buy likes, it is very dubious the way that they do that. Their advertising dollars, that kind of stuff, Also maybe a little bit stretched in what they're actually getting. And you've got a very bifurcated market. Some products seem to work fairly good on Facebook. A lot of products work very poorly on Facebook. We've seen a lot of people talk in Adweek, some of the other magazines for advertisers, talking about how it really doesn't work with certain products. Cars especially seem to be little or no effect for Facebook. We also see a lot of people leaving it. What we don't know is how much the photo sharing apps and some of the other things that they're buying are actually going to come in. This really starting to look like a company like eBay, where PayPal is much more valuable than the company that it acquired it. And we could see Facebook do well, but not being Facebook. And that may be the weirdest thing of all. But don't have enough data yet on and enough months to see it. I dislike the fact that Facebook's really making their numbers that on the accounting and the way that they're doing it with their customers pretty dubious. Maybe the other things, the WhatsApps, that kind of stuff, maybe will be okay. Kind of the question is, well, would a lot of those shares from WhatsApp come out and hit the market and really depress Facebook? And the answer is most likely no. I don't see, and I don't think we're ever going to be able to see just how they gave the shares to WhatsApp. But 99.9% of those agreements say that you have to hold the shares for a year or two, and you won't sell any more than 10% per year, and a bunch of stuff like that. So probably not a lot of problems out there. The problems that Facebook have, probably with their core business and Facebook itself, not the other things that they've been buying. And the question is there enough business in WhatsApp, in Instagram, to cover what looks like to be a core that is fading in Facebook? So somewhat problematic. Anyway, well, we got a bunch of earnings tonight. We got 60 S&P stocks reporting tomorrow. It is going to be a huge and very volatile market over the next 24 hours. Well, actually probably 28 hours, probably till 6 o'clock tomorrow night. And there are so many earnings coming through, it's going to be hard to remember. I hope that they don't do all these stocks all on the same day again. But there's just 60 in the S&P 500, much less all the other ones. There's probably 100, 120 stocks tomorrow that are known stocks that are going to be reporting. So just hold on to your seat. You may need to get a seat belt out there. And I'll be probably emailing and IMing Tom O'Brien as much as we can tonight and tomorrow night, and try to feed you the stocks that are of most interest to traders out there. In the meantime, sell when you can, not when you have to. And we'll catch you tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.